Hey everyone, Blue here back with some Minecraft 1.16 build ideas. Today we're going to be taking a look at over 25 different ideas for building with the new 1.16 Minecraft blocks. Now I've gone ahead and made a bunch of different designs including lighting, stairways, just some decoration ideas and even some pathways and walkways as well. So with that being said, let's dive in and take a look at them. Alright guys, we're going to kickstart this off by taking a look at some new lighting designs. Now don't forget, if you do like this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see next. Now these first designs are all very simple guys, they do not use too many blocks and they're pretty easy to kind of replicate just by looking at them. So the first design over here is kind of like a medieval style torch. We're using the polished basalt, the polished blackstone bricks, I believe this is, for the stairs, and then we've got the polished blackstone wall and then polished blackstone slabs, iron bars in between, and then where we got the blue soul flame here, we've got the soul soil just underneath it, which is hidden by the stone bricks, the blackstone bricks that is. I do apologize guys if I use some wrong names in this video. These are all a bunch of new blocks, so I'm still trying to get myself familiar with all of the names. Now down the bottom here we've got another little kind of torch design which will work really cool maybe along a pathway that leads up to a castle or some kind of fortress. Again we've got the polished blackstone brick stairs, the polished blackstone stairs. We've got a polished blackstone block in the middle with an anvil, some spruce trapdoors, and then again using the soul soil and the light in it, so we've got the blue soul flame. We've got the same design again just here, but this one isn't using the stairs like we are on this one, and again it gives it a really cool little design and it'll work great coming down a little pathway or something like that. Now I wanted to make use of some of the chains, so some of these ideas for lighting I decided to make it look kind of like they're floating in the air, but the chain is being used to hold it to the ground. So using the polished blackstone wall here, we've got the chain connecting to another polished blackstone here using the sea lantern for the lighting. Then we've got the polished blackstone walls again, and then we've got a chain connecting to the blue soul lanterns, which I think looks really good. And then on the tops we've just got the new warped trapdoors and a warped slab, and I think this design is probably one of my favorites. I really like this one. Moving over here, we've got kind of a standard kind of style sort of, I suppose you would call this a lamp, some kind of lamppost. So we've got the warped block at the bottom, the stripped version. Then we've got some of the prismarine wall with the warped fences coming up. At the very top here, we've got sort of one fence coming off at each side with a trapdoor above each one and then a slab in the center just to give it a little bit of a peek. And then just a chain and a lantern connected to the bottom here just to make it look like a proper little hanging lantern. And I think this is really cool as well. Now this one here I thought was really cool. It really works with the kind of Nether style. It's kind of, I don't know, it just looks a little bit creepy, almost like it's alive. So we've got down the bottom, we've got a new a Nether brick wall. Let me get that right guys. I'm telling you, I'm going to be making a few mistakes, so I do apologize. Then we've got the chain going up to the new shroom light. On top of the shroom light we've got a crimson slab with the crimson trapdoors, and then we've got these ones which are the weeping vines. So we've got the weeping vines, and to stop them from overgrowing all the way down to the ground I've just used a bit of string, as you can see if you look very carefully, just to stop them from growing and to keep them all at different heights. Now these next two designs here, they kind of look like, I don't know, a bit like floating octopuses, I suppose is the closest I can kind of get to it. But we've got here we've got a shroom light version and then a sea lantern version, but other than that they are both the same. So we've got the crimson trapdoor on the front, we've got the crimson slab on top, and then the warped vines underneath. Now on the version over here we've got the same thing, but underneath we've got the shroom light and this one has the sea lantern. Now you could probably also use the glowstone, or you could even go ahead and use the warp trapdoors and the warp slabs as well to give some different kind of color variations. But I think this looks pretty good, and I think it would work really well in the Nether because it's got a kind of bit of a creepy look to it. Now moving over here, we've got something that will fit more in the overworld, which kind of looks a little bit more medieval maybe, or maybe even dwarven, I'm not too sure. We've got the polished blackstone at the bottom with the polished blackstone wall, spruce fences going up, and again you can make these as high as you like. You haven't got to make it as high as I have. You can make it lower or you can make it taller. On the top of that, we've got a spruce slab, some spruce trapdoors. Then we've got the grindstone with a chain and a lantern underneath it. And again, you don't have to use the soul lantern. You could use the normal lanterns, but I think the soul lanterns look pretty cool with this design. Okay, now that's it for the lighting, guys. I have got a bunch more different ideas for lighting as well. So if you want to see more, don't forget to let me know in the comments below. Next, we're going to move on to a few little kind of flower pot ideas, or kind of sort of, you know, just little decorative ideas. So first of all, for the overworld, we've got the chain now, so we can now use the chain, connecting it to a lever if we're hanging out by a block like this maybe. And then we can come down to a berry bush with a bit of dirt, surround the dirt with trapdoors, put a trapdoor underneath, and then we've got a little hanging basket, which I think is really cool. We can also do the same design but attach it to the wall, something like this. I think this is also a really nice design. The only difference here is we won't have a trapdoor on the back because it's attaching to the wall. And again, we can go ahead and do it with the new blocks as well. So here we're using the crimson trapdoors with the... I can't remember the name of this. Is the Nylium roots? Is that the right name of it? No, the warped roots. Okay, so we've got the warped roots, and then we've got the chain, and then a crimson trapdoor at the top here again. Again, this would work really well if you wanted to decorate some kind of nether fortress or some kind of castle or something that you build in the nether. Or even a house. If you're building a house in the nether, with all of the new updates, we can live pretty much in the nether now. So, you know, this would be a great idea for a little decoration on a house or any sort of build that you have. Again, using the flower pot ideas down here, we've gone ahead, surrounded some of the, and I forget the name of this, this is the crimson Nylium, and we've surrounded it with the crimson trapdoors and then added some of the, is it the warped vine, twisting vines, the twisting vines here, and again using the string here to stop it from growing further than we want it to. Then we can do a reverse thing by placing in trapdoors at the top here. This is on the lower half of the block. So here we're using the crimson trapdoors, and then using the hanging vines, weeping vines here, and then using string again underneath to make sure that they don't grow further than what you want them to. We can also do the same thing in little single flower pots here, again using both of the warped and the crimson versions. And we can go ahead and put in the crimson fungus or the warped fungus as well, which I think are really cool little additions to the games. I love these little mushrooms here, and it's great to see a bit of color as well. I mean, you know, we can really use these for sort of fantasy style builds and building in the nether as well. Now over here I've got two stair designs, and I gotta say guys, I really liked these stair designs. We've used the weeping vines underneath the trapdoors here. So the trapdoors are on the lower half of the block above. So we've got the trapdoor on the top of the first block, then the second and third and so forth up the stairs. The slab itself sits on the half slab below it, just like this, okay? So this half slab in the middle is a little bit lower. We can still jump on the trapdoors like this to get up as well, up to our landing, and then easily walk down as well. But yeah, overall guys, I really like this design as well. Now, again, we've gone with the same thing on the opposite side, basically repeating this, but just make sure that that trapdoor is on top of where a block would sit. If we had a full block sitting just here, it would be sitting just above. So each trapdoor needs to be sitting on top of where the block would be. And then your vines will hang perfectly underneath. And again, if you wanted, you could use string here to make sure that the vines all stayed at the same length going up, or you can let them dangle down the way we have. Over here, we've pretty much just kind of reversed it with the blocks, almost. So here we've got a slab, and this is on the top half of the block. And what we've done is we put a crimson trapdoor on top, and then crimson trapdoors at each side. And then underneath we've got the twisting vine as well, going upwards this time. And this time we're connecting from the ground upwards until we reach the trapdoors, which gives a really nice sort of look. If you wanted to with this design as well, you could go ahead like we have with the other one, and you could remove the middle trapdoors like this and have a very similar design like what you got over there. Okay, and you can jump up no problem from either one of these. Again, simple design guys, but I think they would work really well on some kind of base that you're building in the Nether. I think these are really cool. Now over here we have two different kind of fireplace designs. So this one here is 4 blocks wide and we're using the polished blackstone bricks. Okay. Then we've got 1 polished blackstone brick at each side here, and then around here we've got the stairs. Going a stair here, then an upside down one behind it. Same on the other side. The polished blackstone fence. The polished blackstone wall at each side. Iron bars in between. We're using the top part of the polished basalt block. So make sure you don't place it sideways and that you place it upwards so that you have it facing like this. The soul campfires are at the back there. Then we've left a gap, so we've got 1, 2, 3 block higher gap in the center here. Okay, and what we've got is the upside down stairs at each side and then slabs here, so it gives us a second opening in the gap here, which I think just looks really cool. Then we've got a 2 block gap. We've got an upside down stair facing sideways and another one sideways here. 2 upside down stairs in the gap. Then we've got a chain and one of these soul lanterns just like here. And then we just got a single block, upside down stairs on top, normal stairs on top rather, then upside down stairs, and then 2 blocks going up just to add a little bit of detail to the design. Now over in the corner here we've got probably what is the smallest possible fireplace you can make, and this is a common design that I've used before, but obviously without the new blocks. So we've got 2 stairs here, and then an upside down one facing into the corner here and here. Soul campfire in the corner, and then slabs just across the front here. Then you just make a full row of your polished blackstone bricks going all the way to the top. Leave a 2 block gap between the stair here, and then put a normal stair here. Then you can put a chain and your soul lantern underneath each of those. Leave a 1 block gap, 2 upside down stairs, blocks going all the way up. Then you've got at the very top here 2 more blocks, a polished blackstone wall, the chain, and then a lantern underneath. Now of course this is would have to be quite a tall room, so you could easily just cut this off at any point for the room should you wish to make it as a chimney going up and out of your build, or use it as you please. But I think this makes a really effective little fireplace, and it's nice to have one in the corner. You don't see many corner designs, but this is a really simple one, but I think it looks really cool. Okay, now we've got a couple of little just random ideas here. So this one here, I thought this looks really cool as a kind of, you could put this maybe on like a fishing dock, you know, somewhere where you'd maybe capture some squids in the water. So these are like some captured squids that have been caught while fishing. So we've got sort of some different designs here. So these 2 on the ends here are both exactly the same. We're using the nether wart block. Underneath we've got the weeping vines, and we just angled them all the way down to the ground. This design here in the center, we've got the same thing, except we've got a gap in the center with a polished blackstone wall, and then we're using the polished blackstone button as a kind of eye for the squids. For the actual hanging rail itself, we've got the polished blackstone walls, spruce fences, polished blackstone, spruce slabs going all the way across, and then on every other block here we've got the grindstone, which is hanging just above the squids, so it looks like they are hanging from the top there. Again, it's a very simple design, but I think it'll work great on a little fishing dock. Over here we've got a nice little well design, and I've used this well design many times, but now we can kind of just slightly change it with the new nether blocks. So now we can actually use a chain, now that we've got the chain and the grindstone at the top, because it looks a bit like a wheel that you'd sort of wind up to bring the bucket. Underneath I've used some shroom lights to make it a little bit of a glow coming from the water. Basically for this design it's pretty simple. You use the polished blackstone bricks and you place one here, leave a 1 block gap, place one here, and make a square like a 3x3, placing them in the corner. Then you simply place a normal stair on each side of each one, coming outwards all the way around like this. Then place upside down normal stairs facing outwards in the little gaps between, but you want to stand in the center where the cauldron is there, and face them outwards. Then behind it here you can place an upside down stair all the way. On the 4 block you can use your polished andesite wall, your fence. Then on top you just make a little kind of arched roof, which is really simple. We've got a 4 block here, a 4 block here, 2 slabs on this one, 2 slabs here, and again just repeated that pattern all the way around, and the same here. And then we just put a slab on the 1 block above the fence here, then the 1 block above, and then one here. And then just to finish it off over in the corner here, we add 1 more chain to make it look like something you can pull, to pull the cauldron up with the bucket of water. And that's about it, guys. It's a nice simple little design, but I think this looks really cool. Now over here I've done 2 different wall designs, and guys, I'm not kidding you, I was sitting here and I could have come up with probably about 20 or more wall designs. I've got so many ideas with the new blocks, so if you guys would like to see more ideas, be sure to let me know in the comments. Now for this one I used the polished basalt block, which, guys, I just can't tell you how much I love this block. It's such a cool looking block. Now in the ground here we're using the blackstone. We're using the top of the basalt block. Now the basalt block has 2 textures, this one and then the one at the front here. This one here almost looks a bit like kind of I guess like a fish scale cobblestone style thing, and I really like it. It's a little bit darker than cobblestone, so it gives us that nice color texture in between that we can mix in with pathways as well. Now blending it into the ground here just makes it look a little bit rough. We've also used a bit of the soul soil, which you can set alight if you wish to as well. On top we got some iron bars, and then that's about it really. We just sort of staggered maybe some of the crackstone bricks in here as well, just to give it a little bit of a sort of roughed up sort of look inside here. And again using the crimson roots here on top of the crimson nylium, and then some of the warped funguses as well. Now this design can be used in so many different ways, guys. You can basically use the same design, just switching up the blocks. As you can see, I've gone ahead and done pretty much a very similar thing here. So over here we're using the warped stem and the stripped warped stem. Then we've got the warped, warped nylium down here. And again we just mixed it up with the blackstone and the polished basalt blocks as well. On top we've used some of the polished blackstone walls and then some of the warped fences as well. And again we've added some of the twisting vines here using the string above it so that it doesn't overgrow. And then we can just blend in the ground with the same thing. We've got the warped nylium, the soul soil, some of the crimson fungus and the warped fungus. Some of the, is it crimson roots? No, warped roots. And then the crimson roots just here as well. And yeah, it's just a nice little design. You could use this in the nether or even around a base that you're building up some kind of fantasy sort of area. You know, there is so much with the new blocks. There is so much fun for fantasy building with the new colors and stuff that they've added. It's really sort of made an interesting idea for any fantasy builders. Now with that being said, guys, we're going to move on to this one here, which is a bridge design. Again, this is a really simple design, probably looks a bit more complex than it is, but basically all we've done is we've used slabs here. So we started on the top half of a block and then we've gone down 1 block to the bottom half of a block using the slabs. Then leave a 1 block gap, go 1 block down. We've got 2 layers of our slabs and then 1 block down and 2 layers of slabs. So we're keeping the slabs, making a 4 block in total because we've got the top half and then the bottom half. In the gap we've used some of the trapdoors, and then again down here in this gap here we've got a 3 block gap in the middle. We've left space and we've used the trapdoors. Then we just basically repeated the same as the opposite side. So we've got 2 slabs, trapdoors, slab and then slab. Gives a nice kind of curve for a gap. Maybe you could do this to link up some of the island areas in the nether. Underneath we've hung some of the warped roots, adding in some string underneath them to make sure they don't grow past where we want them to be. And that way it helps keep them at different levels, making it look like it's growing a bit more natural rather than it all being the same length and just looking a bit strange. And the same thing we've done on the top with the twisting vines, and we've cut some of them off as well, just making it look like there's a little bit growing on the bridge. And I just think that would look so cool in the Nether. If we had some of the Nether islands coming across here, maybe a lava lake underneath, and then some more islands over here, I just think it'd be a really cool way of connecting them. And again, on the side, we've gone ahead and used the warped trapdoors as well, just to add a nice little bit of detail, and almost like a little bit of a railing. Now over here, this is just a basic kind of mock-up of an idea for a house or a base that you could build in the Nether. You can simply go ahead and just put in your, well, if we start from the bottom, you can use your stripped stems. As you can see, we've got the crimson stem here, leave a 3-block gap, and we've built it up, making some pillars. We can use supports using the warped fences underneath. Make a little kind of window ledge here, and then we've got 2 of our fences on each side here. 4 blocks above, and then a slab in the middle. These crimson trapdoors here look great as windows. I know they're purple and stuff, but like I said, with the fantasy style builds, these can work really well. We've put it across the front of some of our warped nylium, is it? The warped nylium, yeah, warped nylium here, to make kind of like a little flower bed. But then on top here we've used some mushrooms, but there's, you know, we could use the warped roots, we could use the crimson roots, we could use the warped fungus or anything in here to make it look really nice. We've added some of the soul lanterns here connected to some of our fences, and again at the back here we're using the stripped warp stem, which I think looks really good. And then we're just using the crimson slabs here just to make a little bit of a finish for a roof. But something along these lines, I mean, you could easily turn a design like this into a full house, making a really, really nice design. Okay, and finally guys, I've just got a few floor ideas or pathway ideas for you. So for me, one of my favourite ones that I've found so far, which I absolutely love, is the polished basalt block. Now this would probably work pretty well with cobblestone as well. Let's get some cobblestone out. I never tried any of the cobblestone, but they're fairly close in colour. You know, they're not too sort of different, so you could probably mix some of this in as well. Maybe in one there. See, this could blend really nice for a pathway. You can use this as a pathway in many kind of places, as a lead up to a castle. Get rid of the sides here and kind of rough it up into the ground a little bit, and maybe it would look nice just leading as a pathway around a village. But this is really good. I really like this design. This one here would work great for some kind of fortress in the Nether, and this one I absolutely love it. It is such a cool design, and one thing that I really like is this block here, the gilded blackstone. Now the reason I like it so much is because we've got all of this black to make a pathway here. So we've got the chiseled polished blackstone, the polished blackstone, the cracked polished blackstone bricks, is that right? Yep. The polished blackstone bricks, polished blackstone, all blended in here, making a dark path, which does look really nice. But adding in some of these gilded blackstone here and there into the pathway just gives like almost like something's trying to come through, like some kind of magma or something is just coming through the cracks of the ground. I just think it just looks so cool. Then on the side here we got the block of netherite. I know this would be very hard to do as a realistic pathway, but if you're in creative, it's great for messing around with. But you don't necessarily need a pathway here. You could easily just use the your polished blackstone bricks, and again you'd have a very nice sort of finish. You could add some walls down the side if you wanted to section off the pathway, or you could even just, like I said before, just add a few kind of random ones, like something like this, and then you can just blend some of your roadways in to make it look like it's a little bit sort of roughed up kind of thing. You know, give it a little bit of a roughed up look and make it just feel a bit more sort of natural with the way it blends into the ground. But overall guys, I've got to say I absolutely love this design as well. Now this one here, although not a particular design that I really like, this is a pretty good design for going through the nether. If you're making some kind of nether roadway, you know, like connecting up some of your base or some areas that you've got linked up in the nether. Using your crimson stem or your warp stem inside the edgeway for the walkway. Now you don't have to add this, you can do the same thing like I said we do here, where we blend it into the ground. And then you can use your crimson nylium, your nether warp block, and kind of just add some of the reds in there to blend it into the ground. You can also use the nether rack, although there will already be nether rack in the nether. But if you're building this through a warped forest or something like that, then go ahead and add some of these in as well to just give it a little bit of color and a little bit of extra texture for the road. Over here we've got something very similar. On this one we're using the warped nylium, the warped warp block, and the warped planks. And again, we're just surrounding it with the warped hyphae. I think that's how you pronounce it, hyphae. But yeah, I think this again is a really simple design. And again, it probably would look nicer if you didn't have an edging on here and you had some grass blocks and you were just kind of blending it in a bit more natural into the environment. You know, something along those kind of lines. So it was just blended more sort of naturally into the ground. Over here, this would work great for like a kitchen or maybe like a large open area in a castle or something, like maybe like a palace floor or something. You know, we've got the polished diorite and the polished blackstone, and together they just look really, really nice. I really like this, almost like a checkerboard style, is it? I think it's known as. But this looks great. But guys, again, with the roadways, I could do easily another 20 different pathway designs. There's so many different designs you could use. So if you want to see more, please be sure to let me know in the comments below. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up just there. So as always, I thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Just don't forget to hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. But for now, this is Blue Nerd signing out, and I will catch you guys in the next one.